This is the moment to talk about making food more transparent with José Luis Pinedo Rivera from Ingredia and Coline Laurent from Connecting Food, that is in Paris. And so let's see the two panelists. All right, so Coline is already there. Coline, great to have you. José Luis, great to have you too.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, Coline. So I visited your LinkedIn and you say you make food more transparent, Coline. And you also just mentioned our conference. You said thank you to Adam for this wonderful initiative to share knowledge about blockchain in an entirely free event. And so I guess that's something that you appreciate genuinely.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of industry events out there, and most of them have to be paid for by visitors, by exhibitors, and I find this initiative truly very positive and going in the right way, because if we're talking about agriculture, we have to make it as open as possible, because it's such a challenge to digitize and bring more trust in this sector.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by Adam's work as well. I just wanted to summarize what your talk is going to be, and I know that you guys will talk about how your Coline's platform is used by José's dairy cooperative. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to hearing from the two of you, and thank you again.
Thank you very much. So if it's working correctly, maybe we can have the first slides of the presentation. That would be great for the intro. Thank you. Okay, wonderful. So as you said, my name is Coline Laurent. I'm tuning in from France. Connecting Food is a company based in Paris and Milan, Italy. I'll begin by introducing a bit about our platform and how it works, and then I'll leave the stage to José Luis, who is one of our clients. Connecting Food, one of our historical clients, and he's both representing a dairy cooperative and an industrial dairy processor, so he can give you an overview of how our platform is used really throughout the whole food supply chain. So about Connecting Food, just a few words. Let me see if the clicker works. Okay, great. So we are the first food confidence platform based on blockchain technology. What we mean by this is that we help agri-food actors all along the supply chain leverage blockchain technology to provide real-time traceability to their food supply, but also digital live auditing to increase the supply chain efficiency and in the end, rebuild consumer trust. So our platform is a software composed of two main elements. The first one being a dashboard accessible for the stakeholders of the food chain, giving them access to the whole traceability of their chain. And the second one being a consumer-facing interface, which is a web app. It's not an app that you have to download. It's accessible through a simple QR code, and anyone today knows how to use QR codes. And it gives the complete traceability of the product, the food product that they have in their hands. So it's an interaction, a very high quality interaction between the product and the consumer. So we like to explain our work and the functioning of our platform, taking the shape of the iceberg, because most people out there that are not blockchain specialists for consumers, but even for some industry professionals, when they hear about blockchain, it's often associated with a QR code. And sometimes there's been a bit of confusion between the two things in the FMCG world. So basically what we like to say is that QR codes are just a way to provide a link to a URL. So any brand can provide storytelling information. And this is what brands are about, doing some storytelling to tell the story of the brand, to catch consumers' attention. But then if they want to really work on trust and build a proof of what they are trying to sell to the consumer, then they need something more. And that's where Connecting Food comes in. Our work lies into what's underneath the surface of the water, because on the food chain, there is a lot of data that is already existing today, that is already accessible today, but through very different means. So you have data in certificates, you have data in farm management systems, you have data in IoT, you have data in ERP that are used in the factories, you have data everywhere. But each actor of the food supply chain works in silos and is holding its share of information and its share of data. And there is not a single platform that can put it all together and provide the full links between every step of the chain until the final consumer. So this is exactly what Connecting Food does. This is what we like to call ourselves the third-party transparency, because we are able to collect, aggregate supply chain data in order to bring real proof and to power the storytelling that the brand can want to do by actual data that will back it up and that will be able to prove that what the brand is saying is actually true. And this is something that the food industry has been missing all these years. A lot of food scandals have been happening, and sometimes brands were not allowed to prove that what they were saying was true. Sometimes it was actually proven that it was false. So this is why such a tool is very much needed. So just to go a little bit more in details about what this data is and can be, of course, it depends on the food supply chain. So later, José Luis will give you an overview of the milk food chain that he's working on and of his data, the data on his food chain. But it's very important to bear in mind that if something can be measured by data, then it can be registered and then it can be proven. And if not, our goal as Connecting Food is to work along with our clients to identify which is the criteria of the product specification that we want to be able to prove and help our client find the right type of data to be able to calculate it and prove it. So it can be farmer data, as I said, in farming management tools, in harvest or breeding tools, in different kinds of system. It can also be supply chain data. This is a very important element that we are able to bridge the gap between what's inside the factory and what's inside the farm. And today, when you look, for example, at food processing facilities, a lot of the time they're using SAP, but SAP does not have all the agricultural data because farmers are not using SAP, they're using different kind of system. And this is something very important to understand, that when data from as upstream as the farmers can be gathered and registered on blockchain, this is where actual trust can be built, because we know that the authenticity of the information comes from the farm, and this is the key to rebuilding trust. So in the supply chain, it can come from different management system or industrial tools such as ERP, for example, SAP, but we are also working with a lot of different miners ERP systems. Then it can be quality data that come from quality tools, from certificators, even from traditional auditors, because we will register on the blockchain the dates of the certificates. So when the certificate is going to expire, we can also send an alert, alerting the brand that one of the farmers that delivered the milk, for example, today, will no longer be compliant in some days. And this is something great to be able to anticipate all of that stuff. And at the fourth block of data is, of course, regarding the sustainability. It's a growing consumer demand, and it's also a growing industry demand to be able to measure, audit, and restitute information about the sustainability criteria of the product. So this is also something that can be measured, gathered, and registered into our blockchain platform. So it's a lot of theory for now. I will leave the stage to José Luis that will introduce first the dairy cooperative and his role at Ingredia and his view on the project that we worked on together.
Thank you, Coline. So if we can continue with the presentation. I will start by talking about a little bit about Ingredia before going to how the blockchain works for us. So I don't know if we see the presentation now. If viewers can see it. Oh, there it is. Nice. So first of all, I'm part of Ingredia Dairy Experts. I'm José Luis Rivera, product manager at Ingredia. Wanted to talk to you after the introduction of Coline about the blockchain for more sustainable dairy ingredients, because we already had specific milk collection that allows us to produce dairy ingredients that are sustainable, but we wanted to go further with this. But first of all, I wanted to talk about Ingredia. So Ingredia is part of a dairy cooperative named Prospérité Fermière that has more than 70 years of experience in the dairy sector and is located in the north of France. And it's a structure that adds value to milk from the raw material to the dairy ingredient and also UHT milk or a finished product. And it has a true know-how recognized by the region of the north of France. So some key numbers about Ingredia. So we have around 1,200 farmers. We collect 420 million liters. With them, we're able to produce 60 million liters of UHT milk. And with our drying towers and also for filtration lines, we produce more than 65,000 tons of dairy ingredients. We're about 450 employees. We have a 381 million euros of turnover during 2019. So Ingredia, it's a company that's based on two main pillars. So what is important for us, our strategy is based on innovation and our CSR commitments. So for innovation, we have dairy ingredients that are very specialized to produce a certain finished product. But since quite long ago now, we wanted to go further with our CSR commitments by creating our own CSR policy, which is called Via Lacta. So Via Lacta, it's represented through a logo that that shows our quality that's guaranteed and also our commitments. And based on this sustainable approach, we have created a specific milk collection that's sustainable, which is based on 4 pillars that we'll explain a little bit on the next slides, but are based on animal welfare, quality of milk, the environment, and last but not least, the farmer's income. That's very important for us. And this milk collection, we're able to prove it by blockchain, to prove what we do by the help of Connecting Food and their blockchain, by connecting all the data that we have from each pillar, that we need from each pillar, and also the traceability information from the feed supplier to the finished product as our UHT milk or our dairy ingredients. So now I will explain a little bit about each pillar and which data goes to the blockchain technology. So concerning the animal welfare, for example, what you see on the screen on green is why it's already audited by blockchain. For example, you have to know that all of our farms follow or chartered of good breeding practices that's the standard for our farms. But furthermore, in the pastures, for this specific milk collection, we guarantee an access to pasture of 170 days per year for each cow, also an accessible grazing area of a total of 3,000 square meters minimum per cow, and this is already audited by blockchain in real time. But also we have other criteria that we have in this specification, like an average composition of the pasture. Also in the barn, we have to have clean straw bedding to allow the cows to be comfortable and prevent any injuries. And also we are applying a behavioral diagnosis, which is an assessment of the animal welfare that we do, and it helps us to identify, to improve, and to add more criteria around the animal welfare to all of our farms. So this behavioral diagnosis is not already on the blockchain, but it's on progress to be on it. Concerning the quality of milk, we ensure that our milk is 100% French origin, so it's only a local milk collection in the north of France. All of our farms are at only 80 kilometers around our dairy plant to guarantee a better quality of it. And you have to know that also it's kind of like organic milk, but because it doesn't follow a certain feed that it's organic for all cattle, it is yet milk from GMO-free grass-fed cows. So it has to be feed certified GMO-free. And we have different certification for all the feed that we give to our cattle. It's Coline Mestieno, for example, Vlog, organic, or soy from France. And the feed is given to all the cattle in the farm. And also something that is very important for us to keep the same level of quality during the whole year. We have an increase in the proportion of grass in winter. That has to be a minimum of 15% of fodder and dry matter. So this is already audited by blockchain and has to be proven by each farm. So now I wanted to go a little bit further on the feeding of our cows, because not only the feed that we give them has to be certified GMO-free, but also the additives that we give them has to be certified. Also the co-products that we give to our cattle, its origin France, and also if it is a sensitive material, it has to be from France. But if the majority part of the feed that we give them, it's already soft produced in the farms at 90% of them. And we have more than local suppliers of 90% of them, and the main components of the ratios are hay, grass, corn, beet, pulp, cereals already that I have presented in the last slide. And as I said it, out of a grazing period, we have a winter ration containing at least 50% in grass. And about this pillar, about the environmental specification, is not something that we have already audited by blockchain. We are working on it because it's quite difficult to have data that comes from our farms to be evaluated in real time. So it's a work in progress, but we have different actions to preserve the biodiversity, like preserving the local grazing areas, increase the florid areas, and therefore the pollination, or install hedges for the parcel separation. And also, in order to reduce our carbon footprint, we use manure as fertilizer. We reduce the consumption of imported soy, and since a couple of months ago, we have started the transition to a green milk collection, which means that our milk trucks are now powered by 100% biofuel, which means that it's 6% less greenhouse gases. And also all of our farms have performed a Cap de Zer level 1 or 2 diagnosis, which is a tool for environmental assessment and technical support. And as I said it before, the well-being of our farmers is as important as our cattle. So for them, we give them a fair and stable and guaranteed price through the whole year, and also the farmers that are part of this this program has a bonus per production. So about all this milk specification, we were the first, and I think we're still the first worldwide to be fully traced and audited by blockchain in real time. And we started this project because we realized that consumers seek for more transparency in global. So in general, 9 out of 10 consumers want more transparency, but 86% of consumers demand more food transparency. And one thing that made us like take the first step to go further with this, it's because we knew that consumers liked proven data, and there are 75% of consumers that will switch brands if another brand provided more detailed information about the product. So we already provided a lot of information, but it wasn't proven. So that's why with Connecting Food, we were able to go further towards total transparency. Because, for example, we already have a finished product, which is our UHT milk bottles. And we started from the premises that we put on the label. It is a simple list of ingredients because it's only one ingredient. We already knew the origin of the ingredient. Well, you have to know that the dairy sector, it's something that it's traceable since a long time ago, but since not that far, it is now traceable and audited in real time by blockchain. And it's the only thing that it was missing on this. So now we were able to do this full transparency to all finished products. So this is the result of the mobilization of the entire chain. So this is how it works. On the left bottom corner, you have the specifications that are audited that I have already presented. And we go back to the feed supplier, all the traceability information and the audited specifications goes to the blockchain. And then this traceability information and audited information, it's printed directly into a dynamic QR code on the bottle of UHT milk, for example. That's how we started. And it is dynamic because it changes with each batch of milk that it's putting on the bottles. And this solution, we are able to give it to our clients for their ingredient supply. So how it works is the same process, yet if we supply them with milk proteins or powders, our clients only have to add their traceability information and audit information to be able to produce finished products that are fully transparent. And by creating fully transparent products, we are able to have benefits at all levels. For example, for consumers, they are able to verify the promises that we used to put on the labels with genuine and accurate information. The distributors and stores are confident of the products that they sell. The brands can promote the origin of the ingredients and enhance their image. We, Ingredia, are confident in the quality of the products that we sell to our clients because it's high quality ingredients, and the farmers see the value of their work committed all the way to the end consumer. And just to show you how it works, well, when you scan the QR code just with your smartphone, with the phone of your smartphone, you are able to discover, for example, the farms from which their milk comes, the proof that the specific milk collection specification have been respected by each one of the farms, the collection and processing dates, and more to come. As I said, more about the animal welfare and also the environmental actions that we do. So that's all for all. I'll leave the room to Coline now to conclude.
Thank you very much, José. Maybe you can turn your microphone off. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm not sure how we're going to be able to take questions, but just letting you know that if we have 10 minutes left, we'd be happy, José Luis and I, to take some if it's technically possible. And just to conclude, if you can put back the slides, please. Because so as you heard from José Luis, Ingredia is working on milk. They are doing skimmed milk, semi-skimmed milk, and full milk. But they're also doing dairy ingredients. And this is something really interesting because Connecting Food today is tracing a lot of different products. Most of them are very simple. As José Luis said, one ingredient, 2, 3 are the basics of the product. When you think about the food industry, most of the food we eat is actually, most of the food you find in supermarket has various ingredients, and tracing milk powder, when you combine it with traced flour or traced sugar or traced eggs, that is all things that we already track at Connecting Food, then we're really able to provide the food industry with traceable ingredients that make all the difference. I think someone is doing some noise in the background. If someone can turn on mute. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep going. So here on this slide, you can see all of the products that are currently in store in France, but also in very different countries, many different countries, because Ingredia's milk, for instance, is already sold in China, in Vietnam, in Dubai. So we're already tracing with blockchain on the international level. Here on this slide, you can see some lemonade that is sold in Germany. You can see some eggs that are sold in Italy. So it's really a global movement that is going in the sense of transparency. And well, if there are some food brands and some agri-food actors that are wondering whether it's possible for them to implement such traceability system and to experiment the full traceability of their food chain using blockchain, please note that it's not because your food chain is international that we cannot track it. Data is everywhere, and the beauty of blockchain is being able also to work with food chains that are completely around the globe. So feel free to reach out and get in touch with either José Luis or I to know more about what it takes to truly implement it, and how we could work on your food chain. So thank you very much for your attention, and if there is the opportunity to take questions, we would be happy to do so, and if not, we can connect after the event on LinkedIn, like some of you have already been doing, or by mail.
Thank you very much. So I see that you're wrapping up the discussion. Is that true?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to finish this by asking you about your personal take about what is going to be one of the biggest challenges of technology, blockchain, and agriculture. So this is my last question to you.
Is it for me or is
Yes.
it for José Luis?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, what we're seeing at the moment is, there's been a lot of regulations taken from many different states that go in the way of digitizing traceability. When you look at the states, there's the FDA that released the new era of smarter food safety. It's a blueprint from the FDA, so it's not a rule yet, but they're really encouraging all the food actors to digitize their traceability systems. Blockchain is even mentioned as one of the technologies that will be the most useful in the next years. So we see that there's a clear direction that the food industry is going to take, and it can be a bit scary for farmers that don't necessarily know how to manage this, to navigate this. They have in some sort to become blockchain ready, and one of the challenges is to make them access to the technology, and to give them access to technology that will be interoperable with the future systems that will be used by their clients. And this is something that we try to work on a lot at Connecting Food, is to be pluggable very easily to any existing system in terms of input, but also in terms of output, because the food industry is so vast. We cannot say we are going to become the only standard. We can't aim for every farm and every food processing facility to use the Connecting Food solution. We know we are only going to be one actor, one player of the market, so we need to be interoperable, and the other software suppliers need to do so as well. So I would say one of the challenges in the near future is to bridge this existing gap today in the format of data, and work truly together as an ecosystem to provide the farmers with relevant tools that will actually help them to connect to the infrastructure of their different clients.
And now, José Luis, do you agree with Coline that there might be some suspicion or some reluctance to adopt some new technologies, especially when it comes to people who are not so used to being in the world of technology?
Absolutely, because I think that's where we struggle the most to put this technology in place on the dairy part of this dairy chain, because our farmers and also the feed suppliers were really struggling to know the benefits of it, and to convince them was a big challenge for us. I think it was the part that took the most time of it. And then once it was installed in their farms and they were reassured that it was easy to use it and it won't change the way that they were working, they felt really reassured about it. And also by seeing their work valued with the end product that we produced, the UHT milk, they were really pleased with the results. But yes, the struggle was in being convinced that it is the future of agricultural processes.
All right. And so I keep my fingers crossed that there is a lot of education, like a lot of word spreading when it comes to technology, and so that this way we can have more early adopters, because this ultimately is what's really needed. Coline, thank you so very much for hosting, for moderating this. It was a great job.